Hello everyone, Raging Geek here, bringing you some tips I feel will help you and your team in their attempts at snatching the W in Call of Duty's Warzone Battle Royale. These tips are very successful in helping me and my squad every Wednesday on Twitch survive, thrive, and secure wins. Be sure to check us out at 9:30 p.m. Central every Wednesday at twitch.tv/RagingGeek. Without further ado, let's dive into 10 Warzone tips for teams. Number 1. Communication both with pings and voice. In team games, communication is everything. Good communication can make or break big plays, so you want to make sure you're in constant communication with your team. Don't have a microphone? I would highly advise picking one up. But if you can't, then you can at a minimum take advantage of the ping system built into Warzone. Simply hit the left Alt key on the keyboard or up on the D-pad for you controller jockeys, and you'll be lighting up the screen with all kinds of great detail. Do you have a microphone? Great. You'll still want to leverage those additional contexts of the ping system. It can make the difference between a callout of "there's a guy near my location above me" and a solid ping marker showing their exact position relative to yours. This can give your team tactical information and shave seconds off response times, and as we know, seconds in Warzone can mean survival, or a trip to the gulag. Number 2. Run away. It's easy to end up in a situation where you overcommit. Maybe you've downed or dusted an enemy in a squad, and there's a couple more left. You're hungry for that delicious team wipe message. But if your equipment is drained, or your enemy has a positional advantage like inside a building while you're exposed, it's often the better strategy to retreat. Occasionally having a member of the team look to the rear and monitor if they give chase. This allows you to seek position of advantage, more supplies, and more survivability. This also allows you to set up ambush, as you know where the enemy is, and you can attempt to plot their likely strategy to making it to the next ring to avoid the gas, giving you a much better advantage than just rushing blind into a building and ending up wiped out. Number 3. Stay close. Sometimes a teammate may be slower than the rest. Maybe they picked the bigger building to loot than the rest of the squad. Don't run for the next set of buildings, leaving them behind. Response time is critical. If they run into enemy contacts, they'll need the rest of the team within short distances to come and flank, or otherwise disrupt the enemy assault to ensure their survival. I recommend splitting the team only during initial drop and loot, so that each member can get a building's worth of loot to arm up, but then stay within 25 meters distance between each member. This ensures that you won't get wiped out by an explosive, but you're also close enough distance that you can dash over and provide much needed fire support when the bullets start to fly. Number 4. Do objectives. Completing mission objectives in the Warzone earns your team cash that can be used to buy goods or people back from the gulag at the shops. This is vital to maintaining a healthy and well-supplied team. Before you even drop out of the plane, you should have a plan of at least what the first objective you will be. Keep in mind, different objectives give you different perks as well. Bounty contracts are an easy way to ID an enemy team and shoot for wiping out another squad without the need of UAV. Most wanteds are super handy when you're in a squad and you're the last one alive, since succeeding at that nets you a full squad return from the gulag. Recons will tell you more about the area, such about what the next circle will be. Scavengers grant you exclusive access to loot crates in the area and a guaranteed armor satchel at the end. Supply runs give you reduced prices at the next shop, which even makes self-revive kits free. Doing objectives have a great deal of benefits, and if you're not doing them, you're missing out on a lot of advantage. Number 5. Get a loadout drop. Whether it's running up to one that drops from the sky at intervals during the round, or buying one for $10,000, a loadout drop is absolutely crucial to success in the mid to late game, and can help you get an edge in the early game if you can get one before the free ones drop. The Loadout Drop is the only way in Warzone for you to equip multiplayer perks like Cold-Blooded, Ghost, and others. So even if you don't have great guns unlocked in the multiplayer loadout screen, set up some loadouts with favorable perks like the ones I just mentioned to equip in the Warzone. You can always swap back to your guns with the ones that you drop if you don't like the guns you have available in your loadout. By following the previous tip, you'll be able to easily buy your own loadout well before the free drops occur, putting your team well ahead of the rest of the players in the zone. Number 6. Don't always run. Sprinting around looting can be fun and exciting, but can very easily get you killed. You make the most noise when running as your enemies will hear you stomping around, and when you collide with doors you'll snap them open with a very clear audio cue. Sprinting through buildings you haven't confirmed are clear of enemies will very easily result in you eating an explosive, and very likely dead. Proceed to every building that could contain an enemy as if they're lying in ambush ready to kill you. Take your time and be cautious. Tailor your cautiousness on the proximity of the gas encroaching, as well as visual indicators of enemy presence such as doors opened, windows smashed, or a recent vehicle that has gone from red to white on the radar, and the enemy's own running, slamming of doors. I like to sprint up to an area, but then walk in proximity of a building I intend to enter, and if there seems to be indications of enemies nearby, I'll crouch walk the whole building while scoping for enemies. Number 7. Peek doors. Related to number 5, peeking doors is an extra level of stealth that I'm glad the game has provided us. When you open a door by running through it, it will slam and be incredibly loud. If you just open a door, it'll still give off an audible report. But when you aim down sights while opening a door, you will peek the door, which cracks it slightly without a sound, allowing you to either shoot through the crack or slowly make the crack wider until it is fully open. Using this method, you can get the drop on many teams lying in ambush, and potentially use a door as cover against an explosion or gunfire. I only wish that you could peek shut a door as well for that next level of stealth. Number 8. Buy UAVs. Buying UAVs in the mid to late game is important, as hopefully by then you'll have looted a fat stack of armor plates, ammunition, and have the loadout from the loadout drop you acquired in tip 4. At this point, popping up UAV lets you know where patches of enemies are if they're not running Ghost, allowing you to get the drop on them and finishing them off, or avoiding them if they're too well entrenched. This tactical detail can definitely help your team form a plan and get the drop on the enemies. Number 9. Watch the gas timer. The gas ring in Warzone is an important thing to keep tabs on. If you forget about it, you can easily find yourself smothered by the gas when you could have easily avoided it. As the round progresses, the time in between movements of the gas decrease. Thankfully, there's a timer in the upper left corner you can watch and plan with. You don't want to get engaged in a heavy firefight and forget this timer, as you'll easily find out that your team is now stuck in the cloud with no way to escape and end up with an embarrassing team wipe. Number 10. Don't run to the next circle immediately. Some people playing Warzone are aware of the risks of dealing with the gas in the previous tip, and think, that's okay, I'll just stay ahead of the marching gas by running to the next defined circle as soon as that circle is defined on the map. I recommend against this. Very often people doing this will run for the next ring and not evaluate the area around them, and are giving up an excellent ambush location in favor of guaranteed survival. The best situation is usually to be one of the last to move to the next inner ring, as you can catch teams who are panicked or a little less patient, who will leave their nests and make a break for the ring before you, and you can either shoot them in the back or catch them running alongside you and killing them or downing them and leaving them for the gas to finish. This is especially handy if you're already in the middle of the old ring, as you can wait for the people on the edges to get pushed out of position and hit them from your position of ambush before you yourself have to exfil. Teams on the run are always the most exposed and is the most likely time to catch a team in making a fatal mistake. Take advantage of it. And that's our list. If there's some other tips you think are vital to surviving in Verdansk, leave a comment. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up and follow us for more tips and tricks in the future. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.